Hello, my name is Meiju. This is my tutorial for my Kide Shawl Mystery Knit Along 2022. And this tutorial is for Clue 6 Broken Brioche glue. So I have made a little shawl beginning here for you. This is not what your shawl should look like now if you have completed the shawl so far, but I just wanted to show you with this little sample. These are some yarns from my stash. So this is my yarn A. I have cut my yarn, so I have only my yarn tail here. And now I'm continuing with my yarn C, which will be this yarn, and I will work first the setup rows, which are 2 stockinette stitch rows. So the pattern sequence slightly changes here. You will first knit the first 2 stitches, then work the knit front back, and I will knit to the end of this row. And here I am, 3 stitches before end. I will work knit front back, and then 2 knit stitches. I'm turning my work, and I will work the wrong side, which will be knit 2 and purl to the last 2 stitches. My way of purling might look weird for you if you haven't seen it before. This is called Norwegian Pearl, so I'm keeping my yarn as it is. I'm making a little yarn over, putting my needle there, catching the yarn, and that's my pearl. Let's make it in slow motion once again. Yarn, catching the yarn, putting my needle, and that's my pearl. So I'm purling to the end of this row. So I have purled to 2 stitches before end. I will knit those last 2 stitches, and then I'm starting the broken brioche. So now I'm joining my yarn. Oh, sorry, this was my yarn C, unless I have already told you. I worked the setup rows with that yarn. Then I'm joining my yarn B, and now the sequence slightly changes. I'm knitting the first 2 stitches, and now we are starting to increase on every right side row. I'm making increases differently than before. I'm making a knit, yarn over, knit to the same stitch. So 1 stitch increased to 3, and this time these are counted as 3 stitches here. Then I'm starting the pattern repeat. I will knit the 1 stitch below the next stitch. So I won't go normally. I'm not putting my needle normally into this stitch as I normally would, but I'm knitting to knit stitch below it. So into this stitch I will knit 1 below like that, and then I will purl 1. I'm continuing, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, purl 1, and I'm continuing this sequence until 3 stitches before end. Sorry, 4 stitches before end. So I will knit the last, making the last knit 1 below, and then I'm making the increase as as in the beginning, knit, yarn over, knit, and knit 2. Then the wrong side, which will be really simple. It will be just knit 2 and purl to the end. So I will purl these 3 stitches that were increased stitches, or 2 of them were increased, and then I'm purling to the end, 2 stitches before end. I'm knitting the last two stitches. This will be slightly loose because you have joined new yarns, but once you tighten those up and weave the ends, they will be just fine. Okay, then I'm continuing. Then we in this section we are just switching yarns in the beginning of the row. So I will switch back to my yarn C and making a knit 2 in the beginning, then again making knit, yarn over, knit, increase, and then since I now have my yarn C here, I'm remembering that I'm starting my sequence with purl stitch, so I will purl first. This will be purl stitch, as you can see, and then I'm knitting 1 below, so I will not knit here, I will knit 1 below. Then I'm continuing purl, knit 1 below, purl, knit 1 below, purl, knit 1 below, purl, knit 1 below, purl, 1 below. Your knitting doesn't actually look like anything yet, but it will start to look when the pattern continues a few more rows. What was I doing? I was purling, knit 1 below, purl, 1 below, purl, oh, purl, 4 stitches before end. I will purl, and then I'm making increase knit, yarn over knit, knit 2, and then again my color C row, wrong side row, will be knit 2, purl the 2 stitches before end, and I will knit the last stitches. And here I am, 2 stitches before end, knit 2. And this is how your work looks like after you have worked 4 rows of broken brioche. I will work a few rows more so you will see how this will look, and I will come back then. Okay, then we are starting again with yarn B. So when you are starting with your yarn B, you have to remember that you will knit 2, knit yarn over, make the increase as on both rows. Then you will go knit 1 below. You have to find the stitch. As you can see, it might be a little there. You have to find, you knit 1 below and purl. So whenever you start with yarn B, your sequence will start with knit 1 below and then purl. Whenever you start with yarn C, your sequence will start purl and then knit 1 below. So that's what you should remember, and you will start to see it from the pattern actually when you are knitting. So now that we are working with yarn B, I can see that my yarn P is here. I have purl bump there with yarn B. So that from that I know that I have to make knit one below here above this purl bump. So purl bump there, knit one below, and purl. I have same colored purl bump there that I'm working now, so I will know that I have to knit one below there. I will make this piece slightly larger so you will see how it looks, and you will see how the pattern grows. The wrong side rows are always knit 2, purl to 2 stitches before end, and then knit 2. Okay, now I have worked few more rows. However, the pattern doesn't yet look that visible. I'm going to do some more rows, but I stopped here just for you to say that to repeat the memory rules that I have here. So I have knit 2 in the beginning, knit yarn over knit, increase. Then, since I'm working with my yarn B, I will start with knit 1 below, sequence, knit 1 below, purl 1, knit 1 below, and right about in this stitch, so this will be third stitch in this broken brioche stitch, I already see that since I have purl bump here, that has to be knit 1 below stitch with this color that I'm using. So if you don't see what you should do in the beginning, you can always watch the pattern and see it from there. Then purl, knit 1 below, purl, knit 1 below, purl. I will go through the end of this row. And then I am at 4 stitches before end, so I will stop with knit 1 below stitch. Then I'm working my increase, knit yarn over and knit, then knit 2. Then I have a knit 2 purl row here. Then again I'm switching to my yarn C. So I will knit the first stitches. And as I know this is my yarn C, I'm making my increase, knit yarn over knit. I know that my first stitch have to be purl stitch, but if I don't remember that, I can see it from my pattern. Since I know that since I have my yarn C now, which is my turquoise yarn, and I have my first visible purl bump here, I know that I have to make knit 1 below to this stitch. So since it's the fourth stitch from here, this will be knit 1 below, this will be purl, this will be knit 1 below, this will be purl. So I can always count that by seeing this pattern if I don't remember by which stitch I have to below. And this will go always, if you have made your increases as they should be made, this will always go like this. So whenever I have this color and the same colored purl bump here, I know that I have to make knit 1 below to that stitch. Okay, let's look at the pattern and what we have knit so far. So, and let's see if I'm able to zoom in. Yes, here we can see. So the broken brioche is starting to form, and once you block it, it will open up more nicely. So as you can see, we are kind of making these vertical stripes here that are yarn P, color P vertical stripe, and then color C vertical stripes. So this is how your broken brioche should look like. And you will continue it as the pattern says, as far as the pattern says. However, you can stop this whenever you want and follow the guidelines for the bind off. Thank you for watching.